the key lesson I would want people to take away from my story is that you can pursue the same goal, but go on a totally unconventional path. You should be open to the uncertainties of life. I didn't go to college at all. Look at me now. I'm like 22 years old. My company is still alive after 3 years. I've built a network of people I know from all over Southeast Asia, even in the US. It's just crazy looking back. Hi, I'm Amanda Kua, founder and CEO of WaPoop. So I'm Chinese by blood and Filipino by heart in both meanings. So I come from a Chinese-Filipino household. My great-grandfather immigrated from China to the Philippines. And my mom's actually Filipino, so I'm half Filipino, half Chinese. I think the core things that really make me feel Chinese-Filipino are what values were brought down in my family. We are always taught to be excellent in our own way. My dad always told me the most important thing is to do your best. CHiNOY families have the reputation for being strict, and that you should do this, you shouldn't do that. And I did make an unconventional decision. I have an unconventional path because in 2020, I just graduated from high school during the pandemic. And I ultimately decided to take a gap year instead of studying university online. I ended up working at a startup for a year, and I fell in love with the startup ecosystem, the startup industry. And it also made me realize that the barriers to entrepreneurship are so low that anyone can start a business on the internet now. And that gave me the belief that maybe I could too. I launched my company just because I saw a problem in the space and thought I could be the one to solve it, because starting a newsletter didn't cost that much and I could write everything myself. WaPoop is a media startup focused on the business landscape in Southeast Asia. So we create content around business in Southeast Asia. WaPoop started as a newsletter that made it fun and easy to stay updated with Southeast Asian startup news. So that meant people were receiving an email every day about the latest news in the Southeast Asian startup ecosystem written by us. It's important to have this access to information, which people aren't getting because it's spread out and fragmented across different media outlets and websites. So to make it easy for people, instead of checking out all these different websites individually, we put all the news in one place and keep it very accessible for them because we send it out into their inbox directly. I think one of the biggest challenges is yourself. Starting my own company at 19, the biggest thing I had to conquer was imposter syndrome, and I think I still have imposter syndrome today, but it was huge at the beginning. So I would dress up to look older. I would try to research everyone before I talked to them so that I could communicate with them better. So being on the Forbes 30 under 30 list was really crazy. I really didn't have high expectations of whether I would get in or not. I don't know if it's real. Like, it didn't feel real until I told somebody. So it was a lot of shock in the first initial few minutes, hours. And then everyone was just genuinely happy for me to see me on the list. And then a lot of people I knew were sharing it. When you think about awards, like being on Forbes 30 under 30 or any other thing you achieve, I never think that they're the goal. They're more of like a milestone that you get along the way. So while you're pursuing a goal, these are milestones that you achieve that sort of show you maybe you're going in the right direction. So it was really great to be the only CHiNOY on the Forbes 30 under 30 list this year. And I think sends a message not just for the Philippines that, Filipinos come in all kinds of appearances. We all come from different walks of life. We all come from different cultures. I think it was a huge vote of confidence for myself, because if you look at the year, so I was listed on Forbes 30 under 30 this year, 2024. This year is actually the year I was supposed to graduate from college. So when I started my company about 3 years ago, one of the biggest questions I had in my head was, will I have achieved something meaningful in 3 years by the time my friends all graduate, where I can talk to them and not feel like I'm less than them? Like, we can look at each other with even footing, because at the end of the day, not going to college is a huge thing. And I think at some point, personally, it takes a toll on you. So when I saw myself on the list, I thought, hey, maybe it shows that I've achieved something meaningful already by now, and I can keep going. I think that was why it was so meaningful for me. And now I'm super excited to say that we have a lot of new changes coming up, a lot of new updates. And so far, my business has grown, and I haven't gone back to school. I'm definitely looking at going back to school one day. I think everyone has a different path to success in entrepreneurship, and mine might not work for you, others may not work for you. I think the core thing I would remind people is that you should look at the opportunities in front of you and take the best opportunity out of that and focus on that. For me, a modern tauke really is redefined in this day and age, because now anyone can be an entrepreneur. I think before there are lots of barriers to entrepreneurship. You needed a lot of money, you needed connections, you needed capital. But now you can start a business with very little money. There are unconventional entrepreneurs everywhere now. There's no one-size-fits-all journey to entrepreneurship, journey to success, and there's no one-size-fits-all look or background to someone who's an entrepreneur. Hi, I'm Amanda Kua, founder of Backscoop, and I'm a modern tauke.